producer we a final lap and yatna se abedwafo ni nyina ewo ha Apostle Jeffrey Asare Atenase, Sansona Philip Inkumsa Atenase, Jacob Blanks in Orlando with Mr. Wack as the producer. You're from Ember Power, from MCR. Obed woho. Sansona Kobna Asante Onoso and Afi King Azuka Onoso Ekutema Wuminabwa Nasono Abawa Kwemo. Abo nonkono apa ho sima bakon efri samre ko midday 12 o'clock and show way about wakwemu interesting happening across the world of sports and yatrans ye bedo nkomo matches awdo ekoso enura ene Ndiye bekoso nyame yaduma weekend ni china match se bekoso nyina no yabo no de ba latest from the world of transfer yebedi unkomo Roland Garros and also French Open say all is set for the grand finale in Maya Fem world number 1 against world number 2 Memma Fem world number 1 against world number 2 interesting happening across the world yebebe fie bedi unkomo Ghana Premier League and so say bebi etun anoye den nyame yaduma over the weekend and a Premier League GPL ebana wiye ewa Ghana ha yebehwe ne edinin ha nkomo right here on this very platform again your friend Ember Power join your Sompa television against Sompa FM with a frequency 93.1 Facebook and so on na ye Sompa 93.1 obasan so join your ho na yedi nkomo abofo no doso ba yebekwa no nya ba ye ba dia kanin na ebeto so enti Obed ene Kabna Asante Munsom from MCR na yenda ye hombra ye ba ejana be so power time emra ne nyaso ye kwama no ya berisisie ye basisia Kroso ye kwekodi inkomo Obed ene Kwabna Asante Munsom from MCR na fi yendi inkomo na bibia so entumi enye kama me pato de tennis winim se wodo ani chem ewo Roland Garros no se ye French Open so say aye nika aye very interesting and so ewo Roland Garros so no se French Open second major grand slam of the year now so sen ko all is set for the final now winim se abaya de Eddie Coco Golf world number 2 wa qualify to the final sanso na abaya de Eddie Oina ayam Sabalenka onoso qualify now say in the semi-final games let's see koye abaya de Eddie Coco Golf from United States of America on Louis Boyce and a boy 6-1 6-2 and no chano in the other final and which world number 1 anything and the Aina Sabalenka against Paul and nearby and the Joshua take Ochan Aya 6-7 me pato 7-6 4-6 love and also they qualify and Mayumi no and the Yamiya to the day 1 p.m. almost mission our final occasion is to me Enika and to join your Sompa television against Sompa FM 93.1 on Facebook and Ninkomo 1 p.m. world number 1 against world number 2 and non Ayamaya from the airport and yet in Komahoton Ademi Yetefo our platform Kasewe so afi mumma emema and also men single no and also singles and new kakra and also say and interestingly William Sam Novak Djokovic world number 6 so you turn film when to me unqualified final Yannick Sinner from Italy currently world number 1 Ochan 6-4 7-6 7-6 and Yannick Sinner at the qualified eco final the part of the 10 year and it's a world number 2 Carlos Akaros and Lorenzo Musetti and so came to me also me fanto bien Mr. First set no Lorenzo Musetti etra ayes4 second set and also echo so na Matias Lorenzo Musetti no and so try but third set and the Carlos Akaros etra 6 love fourth set Carlos Akaros no osa LD and Lorenzo Musetti from Italy world number 8 pulling out of the game and Carlos Alcaraz from Spain world number 2 and world number 1 Oranity and so Yannick Sinner and Ebepo Yankopo Yatuma that's our final game and Subetuma so at so Paul so Yatuna power time so Yate in Komaho Toning Nadepa Nabijasun Atumaya Kama don't forget sir when you repeat of the Italian Open so there some few weeks ago, and yes, also what their first Roland Garros and now on a player who tried in some autonom at the Ember for I go to make the power so bet and the Cabana Sante Mom video no Namitu Komokaka world number 1 Yannick Sinner after Sir Ocho Penyanity at the Novak Djokovic or the Sompa Tuja or Jidisa the best in Enti eno world number 1 urani den Yannick Sinner ana ode sansamere tuga apostle motenasia omu begrum na de komo osusa Novak Djokovic world of tennis all time best no Novak Djokovic ana sanso ura no de tuga se ya dia tese na nyache se gunya kwanya na obo wiase na no the best the very best tennis sports no no ayo penine so somode to ayo powerhouse and the anopa and you go so I don't some who talk na dem yete for agbotumete nsu kwabena sante ye sabo mo Facebook no and fama ye bibia so entum enya nika and so ho mo hwan ba ma so strike na bibia so atumi ankoyi amfama ye mo ntwa na bibia so entumi nkoso me pacho mi wem na moto so ekwakwati nkomo bebre still tennis no mo me mfa nto twa so owura de Novak Djokovic me pacho de tenye and some after say game in the pan we no Djokovic and some kakatuja and some trophy pen no mu bisa no some ojidi so no the Koso Carlos Alcaraz world number 2 against world number 1 ogranity ade ayam me pato we Yannick Sinner no ye betumi adiaka the best of all time no na ye betumi adisankra no aba become the best 10 and also the best 3 at so time no na ubenya Roger Federer ubenya Rafael Nadal onwanka Novak Djokovic ye betumi adenkura we aba beka wana anosin odi 2 years yinenim se womumpo na was some consistent for better 10 years. I was some crime, we are consistent for 10 years and sana yet to me at more and so ababeka a yes solid for no and don't your vanity and so at the Novak Djokovic and sama or the Atutano branding name or bro Akrana so also the 23 years or Bonabaso Akrano game on in the ball most of no pay and also Bonabaso and Novak Djokovic and so and somebody to Janetano and the Yugoslavia in some out of the for about to make a power so myself picture no under Sompa ayo television so picture way man under so me bebe dun komo let me just to my come when you say really thing at the Yannick Sinner after say a qualifier or final the 3rd consecutive Grand Slam single Chana so a qualify na 10-year Roger Federer, Novak Djokovic, Rafael Nadal, already Teddy Anti-Murray, and Yannick Sinner, and so a Johnny Sa Impenifono, Sam Major Grand Slam 21st century tennis players and no one also qualify aqua 3 consecutive Grand Slam singles got member from Anoya the Anusa you go slide in some Tony Nano at the Ember for Yamia China game no be Nika world number 1 against world number 2 Yannick Sinner against Carlos Alcaraz and you go slide in some Tony Nano at the Ember for your bumper pemono and also discussion na ye begwa me yetu komo bebre esanse ntai wo mu shawo Italian Open no ama yetu komo bebre no aye de tota and the egu so den sama auto ni na no ate pele bi bia so tuma kama medical dia to anim some more from no so no world number 1 and world number 2 wo mo so and now qualify at 1 p.m. Saken some so betuma ko so egu so ye din komo na bi bia so tuma kama until join our Facebook Sompa television Yenya ba udei adi hana amba mensa wajon wo Sompana 3.1 ewo Facebook na sonto pa se page ja comment to na yendi nkomo sa so kosi Alonso yatonka ewo platform na so wo se share akresi owusu yatonka so ho Isaac Akroma matonka ewo platform na so enti be bia wo bia join yen ewo Sompana 3 ayepan wo Facebook na so na yen tawatra bia so ntomenka so afi me kwa so football me kwa football komo kakra mama mo gwa ne tade Roy Sonny and then opinion ne tade Victor Osimhen na me to mo komo kakra so dia me saka and so wonim say go to so I express interest I go this two players mete and the same owura ne ten ade fit oseme no one person mo ye ne ten permanent no okoso asia kan adema club no me san so ten so owura ne ten enso ade lo shan nei impedefon so contact no ata san komode ne nya so se en aye defon so tonton ne ten no ye gu so ade nsam no to de me tiefo agbotumato no so Turkey Super League no wo mo so eni abre wo mo person mo ye some top signings anti Jadon Sancho mo mam Jadon Sancho picture no na me did no come kakra so oye Conference League champion na Fenerbahce Jose Mourinho me te say Jose a contact akra no from the camp of Aye Fenerbahce would do what almost sukuru sa kongru welcome to hell stadium hono no enti enei openi way matesa ono so o ma contact no mo ma me Jadon Sancho aye picture na me did no come kakra eno aye nsoma ne so aba enete anopa na egusu ado nsoma utoni na no ade pa na bibia so tuma kama me to so conserve from akodi nkomo bebre enete enso ho me pa to de tenso go ne tade Rafael report Ember se nie wudi say anan what am be catch se ban bobo kon a contact Rafael se bo mu hia no omra emma brother Bavarian giant ayam bobo kon na bibia so entumi ne kama ena no page am so kanye and so Rafael no woni se bobo kon ne tede pan eko wo mu enseda for official bid enkonkoma AC Milan football club but you see AC Milan for no wo mu de o my ready wo mu to wo mu can say team bi obeba no it should be between 80 to 90 million euros and yes Sadia no business for Rafael Portugal player no and so ayen sama if we so to the player ye go so den sama utoni na adepa na bibia so atumi aye kama men konsambo from me paso me daso Italy AC Milan club no almost so tetanye and same owura ne tin ade Giorgio Feleni onu ye see at the club AC Milan wakasa ne some ye simple also so tena so your analysis na they can't go for anything better than the already womajano if son say already Max Allegri he ono and the best available what managers and no Sompa from Pakona Allegri he's a winner we couldn't do better than this Ojiri said the best nano and also afano adiapa no ayan somebody be no so guso akoso I was Sompa television so and a day I guso no some out of ademi for live on Sompa 3.1 on Facebook and so and to John Yeni and command be so antumina kama what on your Facebook and so be say page no we say page no do comment that to say the yenu pa within and it cannot air friends we ba no your comment at all Daniel Obiegu go so ya tonka our platform na so and no ayade eba and the no afimin to so conserve from na bibia so antum enko so kama me pa cho me ko bobo kwa ne tande pausa o run the daddy hands at a flick na so na medu say enti eno ayete eko eso eno no na hanse taflik no me pato detenie ene se ye se odi ato dekonim se owura na ne ted mark under testegen after se oprako baye no ni suban asosa ase nani ensana enjuna attitude ordinary e boss ababo konimo enti odi ato dekonim se owura no mark under testegen wo montono enfani free club no obekia on Thursday Paul's be a story e go fiat to my year for Sam a yadia assistant opinion the thing at the Africa assistant no and mark under test taken one more a lot of issues and no man said them between the two personalities and you eka ho a for boy way and so attitude ho you see ojidi so opako pie no and go buy na owura the thing and so at the Africa and so start no our games out and one constantly were disappointed I go open so and no ayen sama ni nyina no pa and the ano pa yegu swede sama out no at the amiete forward meta we so the patro menko and no game say ko so no na mi kakan fanfiri ho mesa swapa na mamba be di enkomo wo transfer issues awdo ekoso no anase de eguso ekoso ni nyina no meba so ebe di enkomo o maya ne did no way and Italy ball game enua na Filippo when we said Norway is Italy 3-0 ayade enwo kakra na wo boy ya friends Alexander Osakan adim Atletico Madrid mesamo ono as a first goal adima Norway and watch Antonio Nusa as a second goal adima Norway Ali Holland as a third goal no and so adima Italy to be interestingly 3 goals no nina about first half aya also my koso ego Italy bonten so dia uguso wo hwe ego Sompa television again dia wo hwe ego Sompa Facebook and so our Facebook and so no ningina ye de aguso ekoso enete ya yeguso ya de nsama out no and so at the ye tie for our platform we so me to so no ma concern from na bibia so no atumi ade kama we say Norway and Belgium against no so pai ekokwe 1-1 the part we watching rules and so no say 3 am a Liechtenstein mano almost on to mobi on me and the Czech Republic and say 2 am a Montenegro and so Antoine Canada I'm not Gibraltar to Croatia ekokotwa makami ekonson 7-0 Malco aye Pasalic onu se goal Antipotemel onu se goal aye Franzo Ivanovic o se goal bako Ivan Perisic onu se goal Andriy Kramaric onu so esa 2 goals ewa asaka nsenma ye do nsomno ate emiyetie for wonim say Estonia to ma Israel ebe ball mu 3-1 eno aye de toso enete no ye de sankoma hotoni na de pa na bibia so atum aye kama eno aye de total na yegu shede nsama hotoni na no ade emiyetie for right here on Sompa aye 93.1 yanto so ne yankonsam from na bibia so atum nye kama wonim say nyankopon ya adom enete no games kakabe koso mepa eni nyira so na bebe din komo na bibia so atum aye kama but after the game no Italy in Norway so say the tennis opinion the ade Luciano Spalletti uko Italy bonten so do biakeka and Luciano Spalletti no emene nyaso e go so Italy man no epam no e wo so muja no kwama no ko e sanse ontumi nya dwuma no emfa ma Italy wo muja no kwama no ko eno aye enkoma wodo bebrea eno so eguso epa enetei yeguso ade nsama woton enso ade me yetie for right here on Sompa 93 aye 0.1 again on Facebook and so yeguso ayete unkomo enso eno no enti Mr. Luciano Spalletti you like listen penny for betan kwan emo wafri hono enso akọ eno ayansama no so totwa enede enso eno no mento so nkonsam from menko Spain kakan konkotin komo the part of the tennis so really tell how via telbas ono ayela liga no pause eno wo pause kobusan nsam sa eno yatete say yadia UEFA from penny for no ehwe sa Barcelona club no ometro moso ni nyina FFP financial fair play rule omo betwe possible bokuna so na say and obeka enso ede afa ho na yekokobu so wura de ten ede Javier Tebas no nsomnie very simple also ono onim onyante hohwe na Ukraine pe say I don't know what they are investigating. I don't know what is going on. We have our work cut out for us, and there's been a lot of news throughout the year, and what UEFA has done I honestly don't know. And no opinion sama or the etuja and the day and so near the sankoma hoton adema yetie for ego jumede kasipawe so afi mamogran tell Ange Postecoglou and they wunim say omo pamono I was space na omo pamono no ono so a release statement the statement no obed first story monfanto Sompa television so Ange Postecoglou ayen statement no good and no aye dawgu so wo hwe wo Sompa aye television so penini some brave and odi atuja ojidi sam ono wababe ye adwuma de el support so oye atmosphere boboku no gwaye de obetuma kanie ene se ojidi se we lay a very solid foundation at say whoever obepa ababeto so a space manager no we lay a formidable foundation at say ono so kran ombre also when I reflect on my time as manager of space, in fact my overriding emotion is one of pride, the opportunity to lead one of English historic football clubs and bring back the glory it deserves will live with me for a lifetime, sharing that experience with all those who truly love this club and seeing the impact it had on them is something I will never forget. That night in Bilbao was the culmination of 2 years of hard work, dedication, and unwavering belief in a dream. There were many challenges to overcome and plenty of noise that comes with trying to accomplish what many said it was not possible. We have also laid foundation. That means this club should not have to wait 17 more years for their next success. And no, I opinion in summer or the actual powerhouse anymore, no, and to lay a very formidable and solid foundation for Spurs Bobo Chrono and we are missing Postacoglu in summer or the actual powerhouse and the Dialopa and the Aguswide in summer and the Panavibiansono and to me Ayakama may also consume from store when him so around the past personal Obuawamo Amamuji European trophy for the first time in 41 years. European trophy Obua club no Amamu liftiye and waiting or returning from Greece holidays Oba Enra. Yes, opinion the Jerry Daniel VC on to me and Yajumabim. The Patros said I'm in second and so when the Jerry Thomas Frank Brentford Balls on Unamitinity the next possible candidate just Baba ye Ejumano Adama Spurs Bobo Kono and so and some no bounce Spurs Bobo Kono and then do nano and so at the Mercedes I would do airpa at some coach Nabaso number 1 Pedro Porro na Okona so and some account thanks for everything boss for monitoring early on me, helping to settle into a club and trusting me out on the pitch. I will always be grateful for the way you lead us, defended us, and kept us going through all high and lows. And no, I am Pedro Polo, the Tennyson, Richarlison, and also Aboko Chinabaso, Dominic Solanke, Gulamo Vicaro, Mickey, Van de Veen, and also Womunyanano, the latest one, I am captain for the side Oranity at the son he mean on also at the Samado at the Ababe to just said the meter says news I mean second so Ranitani Gabriel a Gravina or no FIGC boss Federation International Gongo Calcio FIGC Natural Italy I am Football Association or as boss no the maintenance well one shot wiki crown kona we mobate so Ranitani Luciano Spalletti no in Pelefo Echan Quine Luciano Spalletti say we need to analyze what happened tonight. I am responsible. I too need to make changes and no I boss in summer or the etu trainer Diano pa and you saw the story out on Edepa na bibia so atumi I comment to Johnny I was Sompa 3.1 on Facebook Jay Addison Matewonka our platform so Sanso Anyanya George Jabamensa also Yatonka Ransford Hardy also Matonka ho and to Upanwa page no na bibia so atuma ye kama Aaron Mensa ye kuto Matonka our platform na so nti bibia wo bia no ba page no jaw commentate to na sanso like it na ye interactive na bibia so entum enkona nim enetay our platform kese no so Sompa 3.1 on Facebook ho ana wo ba na ye din komo na bibia so atuma ye kama afimin to so some from na latest who don't into membra na bibia so into nkoso the part of the tennis says we so Flamingo and Jorginho ewie Arsenal midfielder no eko Flamingo oko Brazil we so Johnny Arsenal 2023 2 years ni me pato de tansa no no te ya no safo e ba bonte be kan say mutually we ma terminate contract at so run and tosun sakan and from also football club and the dey pa and say wa join a club and the and so at the Flamingo Brazil abonten so and ayen some and so toja and the dey go so ede nsama wuto no ate amie tiefo tumete we so me trust no konsambu femu me pato woni se fana branch se sha me seka so mo de bi datum for really tell do san Vlahovic osakan aduma zuve bobo krono ano aya nsama no so tota enete anopa no woni se enter bobo ko medical kan mo nsam bebre dia tro ma mo mami akra ne tin nso ade aye mo mami akra wei otibas wa dasa akra ketwa wo ye adwuma ebro wa ho den so a sabe pepe ne besi akọ enti mo mama akra no video no te basum onye Sompa television no so na ye hwe kakra mo mama sound na yintebi Okay, enti eno aye Lami Jamal ene Nico Williams mo enkrano after omu game ha wa na ne omu esieko ene day ene yeguso aye de nsama hodo ade me yetiefo ego dwumede ne nso eso ene day anopa me pacho yentoa so na me yana yensifom na free discussions no dia kari na nso entumemra ene anope ho abedwafo no enya atnase eno aye dia eba yeguso aye de nsama hodo no enso ede ema yetiefo aye betway from penny force bet influencer no egusua ekoso enede enso ho enti se wutwa bet na wetwa bet na wie no wo hehya ukos no na woni afoforo enso atumi ache na bibia nso atumi ay kama terms and conditions apply regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana me patcho gentleman dental from penny force breya so SCA na apos ne yempo wo sen emfama na de tense wanum pampan ene wo sen sade ne o mesi kono se enkoyi a mesraw ha dwen wanhwa wanim begu ase ewo bedwam gentleman dental na your branches across the country. Number 1 Kumase Abrepo Junction behind the Total Filling Station in which in Techiman magazine who would when you our Techima market one Accra Nungwa Atomic Town Kufodia adjacent to the police station Takra den so pipe no ho would do abin 0559139582055913958 wo fra mo we so I bet so telecell cars you see you should telecell sim now fisha say you should telecell sim na the telecell wo send sika de komo odofo a yeto okra ekitua bi empo uyusu the telecell play up na eno de ento okra e free dial star 110 hash na free start use telecell castle ose senekeke sanso 3A cocoa sauce no agwadwama so anu ne cocoa master meso cocoa how efifiri ni pedwena ni anasempo ewani amoni ayeko meso wada se 3A cocoa sauce no anu cocoa adura ebetuma bo na tu cocoa ni na se anu anso be frɛ 0546107107 0546107107 eno aye 3A cocoa sauce just toothpaste no eno ne brush aba adwama so eno aba dada yenim dada se empo bibia how bia ewo so no eye yas toothpaste eno na betuma boa asolve wo se ne color no esesa wo de twi wo se abeboa na wedum pampan no se bo ne wo gum bleeding bibi kakra bia na so wonso wo se no anaso wenum etumocha ebon se ha twen sanso enene memfanto anim se yas no betuba poa na halitosis ni how we nyina no etuase e de ama yas toothpaste and brush no opede no oten enen de ano mra ni nyina no ebeboa achese ebi ewodwama so Lister Company Limited womo na kwakofa sa product e de abedwama so Philip Inkumisa atenase sanso na Apostle General Jeffrey sorry ono so atenase impenifo mo akwaba
mejo so bibia bokode
ankopa adom
bibia boko
am yadom Philip yenkwe.
Yes, let's start with the Italian national team. Me start national issues. Miriam about the club that is football. Now, Italian national team teams are here over the years, you know. Over the time, adia Italy for no tie bia. I said national team bia NB. I there from the dark arts in their play. That is those dark arts, you know. Omo a special defensive midfielder. Or sad dirty works, you know, in the game. But current Italian national team, no, any star player, no. And now, me the tactical analogy be ma obed mo LMCR. concerning Italy lineup or ball game against Norway. Message so move on to screen so mama na now Italy ball against Norway, the Italian national team against Norway no. You started goalkeeper from Donnarumma, but in the midfield three no, obo Sandro Tonali, Nicolo Rovella, and a Brent from Nicolo Barella. But of the three, between Barella, Tonali, and Rovella no, none of them na ye defensive midfielder. Make the Italian national team. None of them na ye defensive midfielder. And we the three players no mo ball in the middle now. Omo mi answer nyina no, Rovella any sad dirty act no. And also ni sad dark arts no ewo no mu. Samson na Brent friend Sandro Tonali. Tonali is a very good ball playmaker. And that's a very good playmaker. And so is a Brent friend Nicolo Barella. That is why at Inter Milan no, on no the mezzala in the Inter Milan team no. That is a Brent friend Nicolo Barella. But then no, Mame go back in the 2006 Italy team no. 2006 Italy national team no had this guy friend Mauro Camoranesi. Now we Mauro Camoranesi in 2006 for Italy. He was the linchpin with which Italy team ni na revolve. Ye World Cup no. Na ye praise a Brent friend Fabio Cannavaro. Na ye praise Vincenzo Quinta, Filippo Inzaghi, Francesco Totti, let alone Andrea Pirlo. But then the oye jumana kasiano pa Brent bia friend Mauro Camoranesi. He was the reason why Italy, at a point in time, he cut that dark art. Mesre Mame Mauro Camoranesi. He cut dark art in 2006 Italy team now. It was the player from Mauro Camoranesi. And then you know, power story with the buyer say Spalletti will be sacked. And I say it has been reported. Who Italy? Calcio Mercato. One of the leading headlines and the newspapers in Italy, a report to say, Papa the France Spalletti, I said, error no, ya baby, ne error no ya baby, and the reason why the error no ya baby, and say, just recently after say Italy ko Euros no, Italy equal Euros no in 2020, beating England at Wembley, and it was under Papa from Roberto Mancini. But then where Roberto Mancini ni team no the boy Euros na Roberto Mancini ni team no pass and move and almost shy away from the system those managers and of the Italian national team no mobo Vittorio Pozzo era in the 30s and the 50s no mobo no almost shy away from that. But then there is a new system altogether. But it looks like Luciano Spalletti team no any player be or dark art no, and that is one of the worries of the Italian national team at the moment. Boy against Norway. And so why we know we team very well. No way individually or more players be say we game part they will decide the game for you. One Brent friend Antonio Nusa. Obi to say Ellen Brute Holland. And a Brent friend Alexander Solot. And I wasn't surprised. So Mummy and saying now so they were in good shape against Team Italy. And yes, Italy by 3-0. So no way, Italy by 3-0. What would you no? I said won't see us papa. But currently no, in terms of exposure, say still sober can team Norway. In terms of exposure, there's a movie. Say again, players are almost top teams, Norway with those top players. Now, captain of Arsenal, Martin Odegaard, captain of the Norwegian national team, and Arsenal, in terms of team bonding, any team unity, Norway will be currently a team in Italy. And departmentally, one of the best number 9s in the game at the moment, Ellen Brute Holland. And last season in La Liga, one of the best strikers of the La Liga, Brent friend Alexander Solot. In Serie A, no share Italy by 3-0 no. And they go Italy, Italians in Tiasie. But mena mitie chino, me who said Italy, Elake, player no more sad dark acts in the game no. Now Brazil against Ecuador. Now it was Ancelotti in the first game. Mestre Mam Carlo Ancelotti on the screens. Now men can want some credit. Now Carlo Ancelotti won the first game. No, what really happened was Brazil could ball 0-0 with Ecuador. Now you game no Brazilians na asema mo can say, bra Ancelotti about all right, but that no. And the crab back or Brazil game against Ecuador na me who any positives be for Brazil. Brazil na yenim so Brazil no. There any no Brazil for no so lake idea from Samba and I say Ojogo Bonito. And the Brazil national team no and what's our free flow and I said that beautiful and flamboyant or champagne football no and the Brazil enemy yet. and then work national teams are on name sa beautiful game no bopa Spain for I say no and no by your identity.
Yes, I say Spain for Nadia
Spain for Nadia Brazil dia mini woni Ember yesterday say ehwebo no yenim say ka beautiful football na we are there is no country our compete Brazil but the Brazil game no I say more European style and Spain for no edemu fua because that is tiki taka Brazil ebo samba but Brazilians currently no mbo samba in Ancelotti buy no na we feel say probably the first game no obo no ye be hu a bit of the samba trend but the nya samba in their game and Brazilians now started complaining say Ancelotti about all right but that than one but Messi still ye nya obotrema kalu after no okobo the first game and when we had the World Cup qualifiers of course was South America now one of the difficult teams to beat Ecuador.
Also the last time na me can be say Ecuador for GD say if not the best one of the best teams to assemble
the best are winning.
Yes, because also in the qualifiers no those Brazil shall move 1-0 call Brazil no but that even that game the performance I'm put up on for me it was better than an annual deal 1-1 what I say when mu team is very strong they say they are sitting second
on the table and again
only behind Argentina
but they are second they are ahead of Uruguay Brazil work out South American football Brazil Argentina Uruguay but they are ahead of Uruguay and Brazil. So Ecuador for no send the signals to us and the Brazil Ecuador 0-0. Me feel say Brazil there, but I say identity of play and as identity na Brazilians epeso mu no and no mu ehu. Now my member club football, me start to Arsenal. Arsenal football club say na teams is signing no. Who them the Arsenal for ye? They say no more extended players contracts. Gabriel Magalhaes extended 3 years. He said the contract no ebe ended 2029. That is the news coming through. And say me no ke say Arsenal e Germany no pay e Leipzig. Na Leipzig no mo kwa na nya bibia. A Brent friend Benjamin Sesko. They say no mugu so muni ni di nkomo. Na nkomo no mo di no. Yes sika no kra do mo mbo so say yetua san e de amati RB Leipzig. When am Arsenal fans nkoko apai. Omo say na wo de Liverpool ni City mu ye ya de mu hu bia na. Wo pese wo je league next season. No pese wo je league next say wo start say wo sign you. They say assistant must say Benjamin Sesko on the screen. He say a player Arsenal manager from Ateta also pepper between the strikers Yokeres and Sesko no player pair Benjamin Sesko. They are in Germany but omo kasamfa that is the price tag as to say player no or Ben and also board.
But say me just say apostle mo ye local transfer no do you know much about this? So player first you need to go and find out the players availability before say what the offer akakutum and it's exactly what Arsenal
this is not the first time or when you had a third meeting with this boy Sesko and their problem RB Leipzig crowd problem to say they've not even talked about the transfer fee say no okay player no pay mu betu asan ye betu asan ye nka ho Arsenal football club nka ho asemu say no player na so has sats say bibia sia on why really so be join Mikel Arteta any Arsenal but you have to at least agree on a deal but at least bra so ka so ko Paul ba first day you be say we be praising the kakra ho feel hey challenge we go school wahin and now we adwuma wahin but the second day na we ko no enkwaka parents eno ye nsam bi asabe hu hia enze Lord Kenya ball POP no enkwaka dan say Arsenal football club ya POP
ufio krama
wo wo pass a friend dada okay ansem we as a seven producer what is your name? Say no Arsenal must hit the nail on the head. The Arsenal is all discuss say and say one say no we are interested in you. Yes, interested in your show. They say we see no any RB Leipzig. Yentua saying RB Leipzig should name their price. Or name your price now. But Arsenal so no they have their mindset say score betia for Benjamin Sesko 60 million pounds and no. They won't go further. In the area how the deal will go into we Arsenal fan and once what's it why now what Bompa any biama Mikel Arteta and Andrea Beta say they will further in their talks with our team RB Leipzig for Brent friend Benjamin Sesko.
So what Leipzig once you know about a message we say Leipzig your players will finish you as almost one more players in the video.
That is the nature of the Red Bull projects.
Okay.
Red Bull for no more 3 clubs in the world. More RB Salzburg in Austria. More RB Bragantino. There is a club in Brazil from Bragantino. Red Bull Bragantino in Brazil. No more RB Leipzig. Omo they are not to just compete. Omo yet ton. Unsa Ghana yenya team be Interallies. Interallies no mo e man so mo betete aton. San RB Leipzig and a Red Bull phone project next year. In RB Leipzig again no okoyin low. No be shine high. That is them. This boy of him buy. Ofi RB Ofi they are one of their clubs that is Salzburg nearby. And then no wabe better. Until they have to sell him on the high. In Tomotonia, they once again go to Salzburg or one of their clubs in Brazil and get a cheaper that is option. No more they replace Leipzig. Or more they replace Benjamin Sesko. I like their style. No? That is them. And yet, omo nimpa say, and you omo level ne Dortmund. But they are competing Dortmund because they are getting quality even from their academies. Now, if you ask them, I call Liverpool. Now, Liverpool say no. I can confidently confirm that by next week, when a friend Florian Wirtz, a Liverpool player. Now, the Ebony say no Liverpool Football Club. Any a brand friend Florian Wirtz no. The Ekosini say a brand the highest earner at Liverpool. Who call Liverpool say we read the salary structure. Player Ojiska Kasia Power Liverpool Mohamed Salah. Salah get £400,000 a week. Now a brand from Florian Wirtz or say score Beji on Sokra £355,000 a week. And at his age, you know, win him a whole year. Boy, he been 22 million euro, which is around 18.5 million pounds. That is the money our brand friend Florian Wirtz abeje at Team Liverpool. Now aside that, you know, say you know, boy no ni wager or RB Leipzig, you know, by Leverkusen, no, 3 times what Liverpool is going to pay, and Liverpool ever tier around 105 million pounds for Florian Wirtz and see that in Liverpool's history. In the history of Liverpool, amount to apply 100 million pay, but this boy commanded that fee. Now, question mark the eyebrow as some of us here raising and say, does it deserve that amount? And then you know, what is the role of Florian Wirtz? Wirtz is a classic number 10. Already were classic Nasaso team, and that player is Dominic Soboslai. Into that position, no, say no, what will be the thinking of a brand friend Dominic Soboslai? But squad quality, squad quality, I say Liverpool will be competing in the Champions League. Will play the Premier League, the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup, and again, they will, if all things being equal, they will compete at the Club World Cup. If all things being equal, the next 4 years, until they need quality, your quality. But the problem at Liverpool, for be so I want to say, there is a cheaper option. There is this boy in France, Ryan Cherki, who plays for Lyon. Mufi said Ryan Cherki and Florian Wirtz no. Age again in terms of quality, talents, and their Aduma China and media momo. I say a pet, but Man City could around 35 million euro for Ryan Cherki. Bueno share against Spain no. Where France in the Spain game. Bueno share that a thunderbolt of a goal against Spain a year. Obesha the second goal of France no.
So he's one of those boys I compare no almost say as a star, no maybe some Messi. Yeah,
Onimbonobo, or Algerian French, Onimbonobo, Ryan Cherki. But I say, boy, when Nisikane was through. Onimbonobo, nobody is disputing that fact. And Oko Germany, on the Jamal Musiala, or the face of the German project. But then, no, as to say 100 million pounds and over, no, and now Akoya Sambia, Mamiko Chelsea Football Club. A brand friend Kopama, so a bread, need just number 20. He saw a Besha just number 10, Chelsea. Into a Chelsea for a team yepa. Say Club World Cup here, best start say that is a week to come in. Kopama Ebesha Jesse number 10 at Chelsea Football Club. Na se say ni Jesse no kra mo sha say ton. And who England that Chelsea fans to bring any Jesse ni pa. But there are players be a no Enzo Maresca say omodi mona kufom kra. Into no area obeje omo kwan. And one of those players and the dia betodwa I say man for kan one senpai no ni madueke. The boy from Nigeria or Nigerian, the parents in here are Nigerians, but the name because by birth you won't UK or an English player. Now no ni madueke, you say you got to ask Echo Fan for PSV Eindhoven, Netherlands, buy no as a performance in a Gusua air dwindle, a Gusua Kofum. I say Obobono will do level bia on Konenim. But Chelsea Football Club say no, they will play in the Champions League next season and they need quality to compete with the creme de la creme. Into no Noni Madueke is no answer to their woes. Already no players now moko for mobile no. Ya Felix no Mujano Quine. Jadon Sancho they are the deal no or man permanent no. So he say Jadon Sancho no, they are leaving him to join the parents club from Manchester United. And what they Omochira Samoa. But as a stance no, they are not interested. Say Omba Twaso with a Brentia, your friend Noni ni madueke into mre and crabia and a betre. Now Tottenham Hotspur after say Ange Postecoglou edge Europa League no more mono. You say post a Ange money bona nko yesa. Unim so a Greece ni. Ange Postecoglou ni di na Angelos, and Angelos a name from Greece. Onwanga so a Greece ni, but because he was born in Australia. In the name already CV now, you say or Australian manager, but the native, the country of origin, and I say or a native of Greece. Now Angelos Postecoglou, when I signed the contract for Tottenham Hotspur, or cash respect say, on what 2 seasons are on the trophy. Into this season, crown, never bring that doubt to say, obetumi the trophy, and I'm team Tottenham Hotspur. Into after so Europa League, now most of us, if he say it is now done, Sabapana friend and Postecoglou will continue on at team of friend Tottenham Hotspur. But Memekai Mbeka Ofia. After so Europa League ni we no, on a Spanish newspaper friend Marca Edin Como, no Marca Edin Como, or kind in Spanish, or say que sara sara, whatever will be. Hasta la vista. See you later. Whatever will be. Ke sara sara. And oka ke sara sara no. Me and me we training who said, I be see at Tottenham Hotspur. And then no, it is being mooted say Thomas Frank neighbor. And you be one. Tottenham Hotspur papa.
Ke sara sara. Na chese debesia nebesi. It doesn't matter the performance. And answer the word they are done.
So whatever
we take decision we take and they did say debesia nebesi.
And your trophy na imagine. Whatever will be because no we decided that. Now we get trophy one year bapamo. And the reason and then on Thomas Frank Urban say, unbelieve say Thomas Frank who Brentford share no quality materials or
the project our Juma warrior no.
Brian Mbemu, Michael Damsgaard, only players biasa, but one of the teams are only omobo Brentford MGH Arena, we show and start the brand of football on FA. But when no omomano war chest, you can't war chest now. Your man is go and buy quality, he bought quality. Replace or the Omuba Tottenham Hotspur. But this season, Tottenham Hotspur 17 no mudi the worst in their history. Into the Tottenham Daniel Levy and the Tottenham fans in Bebre say, despite everything, no, Omufri said they should let him go. Or no, that is Ange Postecoglou, no, they should just let him go. No, to us, baby. And then, Thomas Frank, air likely, so be take you over at Tottenham Hotspur. Maybe, just maybe, about 50 bill, no. Me coach is a club, me can't want him because coaching is a huge gamble. Either say be fat and I say emfa. Now, my call Italy. Now, me for my stories in Ember. Now Inter Milan is almost settled. So Inter Milan story no. It's so we. They said the new coach of Inter Milan, your friend Christian Kivu, or a Romanian. Now Christian Kivu, mama 2010, Sula Muntari team no. Inter Milan AJ treble no.
Goran Pandev
Medasi. That's why we embano. Instead we embano. Now 2010 team no. Now Inter Milan so far in Italian history, there is no team AJ treble. And Christian Kivu was part of Jose Mourinho team now. A J treble no, Inter Milan team no of 2010.
Okay.
Now the 2010 team, it was star-studded. Julio Cesar, Douglas Maicon, now Lucio Walter Samuel, Omunya Javier Zanetti as the captain, Omunya Esteban Cambiaso, Diego Milito Vesle our own Samuel Eto'o, Sula Ali Muntari, Goran Pandev, your player. Any Abrentia Christian Kivu na made red now to so.
Okay.
That is him. No, a left back, Edma Inter Milan. But the reason why Inter Milan say Omodi Adwumano and Christian Kivu ahead of Fabregas and on said, one, Christian Kivu in languages or about 5 languages, or a fluent in Italian, or Dutch, or Spanish, or English and Romanian, 5 languages. Now apart from that, he understands the culture of the club Inter Milan. And aside everything, when I know a coach for Parma, a small club. Last season, one team no stubborn in the Serie A. Parma was one. Parma, Yaketima no new squad require Parma. But he survived Parma. Emma Parma stay in the Italian Serie A. And then we read the status of Parma in Italy. Parma is still Italian Serie A club. So after guiding Parma to stay in the Italian Serie A, Omufi say he has overachieved. And with the quality of Inter Milan ono Christian Kivu ebe farmer. As to say ebe farmer I'm Brennan Krabby and a betray. But me a lot of experiments in Italy. One experiment are Italian clubs, big clubs in Italy. Young for Bakui Andrea Pirlo. One man job at Juventus. Goofy. Daniel De Rossi for AS Roma. When he did the AS Roma, De Rossi no. And Fasa into as to say we dey na be for no mbre na nkrabia no be kire but then no the reasons are Inter Milan for no dey man no many omu ya adwin pa because a smaller club like Parma the way he survived them but then coaching a smaller ego any bigger ego no e matches are sometimes we go dressing room bia bra players obe hu no mekai Brazil team of 2006 at a point in time coach ne so call dressing room no okohu Ronaldinho Gaucho ohu Lucio hu Roberto Carlos Nkafu no Rivaldo ohu me bright Ronaldinho na asemo kai no say o say no ko chiro mo ade say munya bo na munye se munye also hu players na say masa de mba bia munye na sem nyina kanitrim that is the dressing room me wa Brazil
okoshia omone
yes
dia ba bi no
imagine say wa ba Sompa na we be shia pose we be kire ne den e den no be ka kire no he is a top dog. He is a top personal manager. What is here? Inti that is how it is. Inti there are coaches are omudia no. Sometimes no be called dressing room there you can't control. Inti no say no ebe far one major thing here how he will calm the egos of some players. Play bit is Marcus Thuram he say when who bibia. Play bit is Lautaro Martinez over trending. And Bastoni ye boni is one of the best center backs in the game. Bastoni. And a goalkeeper Yan Sommer and they non carve money. Now, and they will ball obit and Nicolo Barella. You are born in this in the Italian Serie A, one of the enterprising midfielders. Now, Italy, as some are saying, he said Roma confirm me, say Gasperini, the fake money.
Yeah.
And then Gasperini, Aquafa Roma for 3 years. Mam Gasperini. Now, Gian Piero Gasperini, the all year say, or the smaller Atalanta, compete here consistently in the Italian Serie A. Atalanta, who count one of the teams are on budget, who from crowd with Atalanta come. But then no only Atalanta for God knows how many years. No only Atalanta achieve here. They be ameka say edwuma bi a wo ya discipline enim no. Bra you will never go higher. Edwuma bi a wo ya discipline enim no. You will never go higher. There's a manager, he is a no nonsense manager. At a point in time onya Papu Gomez be GD kakra no officer Maradona at Atalanta. And this man carve or carve the egos of our brands here, your friend of Papu Gomez, autonomous Sevilla. Onya goalkeeper friend no muso Juan Muso once a muso fee say why big no or to muso Atalanta again players are no munji din at the point career no cry say okoform ba Atalanta ebe your muso superstars 1 year our owner Demola Lookman over Atalanta no go and check his records he was nobody but the name no Sir Demola Lookman ebe Africa reigning Africa footballer of the year he also to this man friend that is Gian Piero Gasperini and they oko Roma Edwuma na Ranieri ayatu Roma no ano oshi. And Uncle Roma, there is this young boy from the Pisili. He's the youngest player I say Italy for no if he's a lot of future ahead of him. Now Omo Mattia Sula, Omo goalkeeper onya goalkeeper of the season last season in the Serie A in Miles Villa. In Neno at Roma no me believe pass of a way best success because Roma in terms of finances omuska echa Atalanta and believe you me any player you ever recommend Biano Roma beto Eddie Amano Roma omuye team one of the teams are omuye playman one of the playmen of the Italian game that is why at a point they were able to bring big ego like Jose Mourinho they bought everything for Mourinho at a point in time now I say he was losing it and into no now Ivan Juric echo take you over at Atalanta. Now Atalanta na even reach out kono. The problem I have and say eneno philosophy at Atalanta and say Atalanta who get teams so bobo e fair pa in the Serie A. Say we come few of Fabregas team come Atalanta. And it is the handiwork of Gasperini. But then no say no the air corner say Ivan Juric neko take you over. Ivan Juric when Southampton were struggling they brought him on. But he couldn't save Southampton from the Premier relegation in the Premier League. Ivan Juric was coaching Roma Pen. And there's a manager, the style in the game management style. On what beautiful football. It's a name may read the futures of some players. Players better say Demola Lookman may read the future. And sure, in the summer, you better say Demola maybe away for Atalanta.
Yeah.
Now, how Atalanta be holding on to their prized assets? I bring their friend Matteo Retegui. It's another issue. As so make me holding on to Matteo Retegui, no, and also my dream ho pa. Another one I made dream ho for Atalanta. Say how Atalanta bet me top players low, no more shine high. In say no, those unhappy players are players and omuya happy with Gasperini, no. Most of them will be unhappy with Juric because Juric in the style no quite opposite of Papa, your friend that is Gasperini. Now I believe in continuity. into no continuity no sanka wo pam Gasperini nka one person as a Gasperini Atalanta one person anka be fit perfect Fabregas bambeka asem wo fias obeka ya meka say Fabregas or shares komu and be taking the time answer wadwen so be fit my friend komu Inter Milan ni interview bibia and of it on bill no but still Inter or decided say he's staying at Como. That is why Inter believe he say Yanko for Kivu number 8 human man. So far there was a lot of transfer merry-go-round. Whatever it is, no trust us, said Nina Bedro.
But before say Apostle Bebem Shewe Mami, when Rome called, Ranieri answered, it is time for Italy to make that call. Who they are much this morning, and then Tuttosport and so actually something similar. I think the Italians they believe we say this man is fit and good enough to save the Squadra Azuris.
One manager was starting a play career, Chelsea for almost surrender. I wouldn't say we no free war. Emma Chelsea, Jose Mourinho.
Yeah.
It's not a friend that team come on.
Yeah.
When Ranieri a fitting Chelsea football club, at a point you know, now o compete but o do final stage I don't want to goofy. Into no when our Cavendish Emmanuel was when on the Leicester edging the Premier League in 2016. And one among who said, the Tinker man has finally delivered. And then Simoko Savio Mo AS Roma. He has built reputation, said Roma can compete at the highest level. And who say Openibi or Pekasapa, but then Wuna Nenimu Bonyam. Oye heja but wuna is a wound suruno but your penibo are very quiet very calm but wuna brad ye wuye bi obejai that is Ranieri into Ranieri the anka me meti asepa but medical kasem bi say Italians no lack a dark arts players no omo a bit dirty in their game as to so bet me bring up some of those players no that is what Italian national team they lack but Ranieri the anka be good fit after Roberto Mancini no me when no more appointed Spalletti where I was before here I said it say Spalletti brand of football no enye Italian football na style na enye Catenaccio Italian style no Catenaccio and wo beautiful no wo beautiful kakra na wo ye I suppose ogum hwe ni na enka kwansan kro that is the Italian game Italy enye boy friend one Italians na pe o omo no wo bo no wo san ye dirty kakra but this man Spalletti no onim sa dirty game ni ye he won the Scudetto with Napoli fair enough but no, he's not capped for the Italian national team coaching job.
That is the money man, Philip Inkumsa, and next year the general himself, Apostle Jeffrey Asare. But also,
Philip, they don't even have the quality to do that. That's the point.
But I'm rather it was
the point is, I see a generational in every national team. Look, you have to understand why players be or more than what is expected on the field. What Buffon will give you, Donnarumma will try, but he cannot give you.
Okay.
In exceptional moment to save a team in competition. I mean, Zambrotta, Fabio Grosso, Cellini, look, Bazagli, Munyan, San Cannavaro. So now I confirm that we know does it, but trust me, San Niaman, and when I come to the Spain-France game, you understand, say, enya ball no na team no bon kwa keke. But players no more team no more, you want niema baku mienu bia individuals no. Omudi can teamwork no wa emma a yes from kun. So we can have a team that's playing very well, but a drum rebia niema baku mienu bi are individual players they are playing as a team, but one kasa pejo mumu a yin konya baku na a difference. You understand me? And that every national team that be successful, every club side here, you have that. So our Italian national team is a major problem they have. A generation acquire. Look, I bet take you years when they develop a lot of youth quality players and then have players go outside Italy also to play in the top clubs over a period of time. Consistently, they will get there. A generation. Ghana do baby. Look, after 82, we struggled. All the 80s, it was terrible for us. Till 1992, you're quite another fan. Look, from 82 to 92, how many years? A decade. Udi as a black star. A confirm sa so nemo u confirm no anamua obetu to make sure say sebechekra enche bebre no is always a major problem in club and national team development. A major problem. Now I mean into the UEFA Nations League. Portugal extra Germany 2-1. My focus today is on the game between France and Spain. You see, sometimes football, one share ball near catcher, France for anya the almost you. And our football, a moment, a so crucial. Look, first 20 minutes of the game, France were in control. Theo Hernandez. Look, Ousmane Dembele, Philip player. Ousmane Dembele played far better in the game before he was substituted than Mbappe. He was, in fact, Nipa now driving the French team was Ousmane Dembele, getting crosses for Theo Hernandez. And then Desiree Doué. The only problem with him is this is a national tenure club side. The shots, at Unai Simon, those two shots no by a feeble power. You can understand a young guy, national team master, oh Michael Olise, how floppy in the game against Spain. But Michael Olise in Bayern Munich is a different player. They control the game the first 20 minutes. Then Spain take over. Before then, you have Pedro Poroma, brilliant pass to Lamine Yamal. He missed on 2 occasions. Nico Williams, who for me in the team was exceptional. Yeah, more than Lamine Yamal, but I will explain to you why. I mean, first 2 shots to Mike Maignan was brilliant. 1 point blank. Mike Maignan and making good saves out of that. But the French team led by Dembele, Unai Simon was just a good goalkeeper. Because the second shot from Dembele, the 40th minute one, that was a top class save from Unai Simon. And then I want to say a real match with Deschamps Unai Simon as no. And the fact that they have 9 shots on target and Spain had 8. Look, the point is that